WLS Most Music Time. A Scotty Blake and George Harrison, the heavyweight champion song in Chicago, and it had to happen, baby, and I'm glad it did. My Sweet Lord, some melodies to keep you together.
My Lord.
But what I started to say before she came in, you remember in Story of Tom Sawyer where Tom was so eager to get a hold of the rat to swing, or vice versa, I've forgotten the status symbol, rat on a string to swing around. What I started to ask you to do, if you could make me a tape and send to me, appreciate it very much. That would be my rat that on a string. I swing around the office and so on. Don't, unless you have a good opportunity and so on, but it would, I would appreciate it a whole lot. I don't remember, my time has all run together, and I'm sure it has for you too. We were by your house on about Sunday, wasn't it, before you left, on sometime the following week, but I was to leave. No, let's see. Did you all come? Well, anyway, I was to go to Atlantic City, you know, and I was up there at the same time you left, and at the same time you got over there, I guess. And I can't remember exactly what had happened before and what happened since and so on, but I remember, I'm sure I talked to you about the likelihood that I would be designated as assistant superintendent, and that became official last Thursday night. Of course, I'm reporting this in all due modesty and humility, you know, but I do appreciate it very much, and looking forward to new duties and responsibilities. Very much interested in your descriptions of the area and your activities and so on. It's of course you probably don't have any idea how difficult it is for an old civilian like me to follow. You people speak your own language, you know. I guess we all do. They accuse us of education of speaking in pedagogies. I don't know what you call yours, but it is hard, the initials and so on that you use, not knowing what they are, the nicknames and all of that, but sort of followed along, and it's most interesting, it's most depressing too, I guess, is the word in a sense, to know that this is a way of life in the world, I guess, and from now on probably. There'll always be the conflicts requiring this sort of thing. Hope I'm wrong about that, but very likely in our lifetime it'll be that way in our children's lifetime. I don't know, comparatively speaking, I must live a pretty dull life. I just can't think of anything to report. I believe I'd already bought the new Valiant. In fact, I guess we were in it when we came by there. Oh, I remember what I was trying to remember. We went up and had supper on Monday night, yeah, or Tuesday night before you left on the weekend. I kept trying to envision you down here, and I couldn't do that. Yeah, we had clams in the shell. Well, of course, that wasn't the main dish, but that was the little treat afterwards. Had good roast beef. But what I was saying, I think I'd already traded the car. Sold my Volkswagen today. I hadn't seen it and still haven't seen it since I took it over to have it repaired and turn it over to the garage operator to sell for me. I'd been over time and again to see about it, and he would assure me that just about had it sold. It was someone that was driving it, and he thought everything was completed except he didn't have a check for me and so on. And I got pretty skeptical about it, and I went over today to demand to know where my car was and to get it back. And after talking a while, he decided he'd just write me out a check for it. I owed him $60-odd on the repairs, and he gave me $400 for it, and I felt like I was real lucky and had done all right on it. I paid about that, plus an old Chevrolet car, I guess, and of course it had quite a bit of expense in repairs on it, but I had driven it for a year, so I felt like I had come out all right, and I'm really enjoying the little Valiant. It's my work car. Nell appears to be doing quite well. She enjoyed seemingly hearing your tapes. You got the feeling, of course she's not in, I hope she doesn't play these back, but it doesn't matter. Get the feeling that she probably spends quite a bit of time playing them over, and because she seemed to be quite familiar with what was in them and hanging on to the words pretty much in them. The boys seem to be doing real well, just contented and happy and cheerful. I want to imply, of course, that they don't need you around or wouldn't like to have you around, but they certainly been having a good time since they've been down here. And we were up last night to Ruth and Kenneth's, and she said she saw them from time to time, the ones in high school, of course, Pat and Larry, and I'm sure that they're doing fine. I know it must be, and you display it in your tapes unconsciously, I guess, quite a long strain for the circumstances being what they are. But that's your way of life, and I know you'll take it, and the year will pass. I meant to tell you, thinking about it, when deciding that I'd ask you to send me a tape of some kind, certainly I wanted for display that my famous and high-ranking cousin, and so be brilliant and witty and charming and all of those things, so that I'll be justly proud and I can swing my dead rat way out in a big circle. Guess I could talk politics a little, but I don't want to. Nell is pretty provoked at our new glorious leader in the White House for his reticence, I guess, to take action, and I got the feeling that you thought he was being a little bit slow and doing a lot of finger shaking, and rather than action on reciprocating their attacks and so on. But I don't know. It's too big for me. I'll leave that to you people to decide what's best and let him know. Of course, I'm willing to do that if you all will let us run the schools, of course. Real interested in your apparent interest in Australia. I asked Nell if that's what brought up the subject of her displeasure with the president. I asked her if you all were going to renounce your citizenship, and she said she's about ready to. Of course, we doubt that, but that's what brought up the subject. Of course, you're a dreamer, and that doesn't shake me a whole lot to hear your interest there. You're also an adventurer, so you might do it. I don't care. You get a place like that, we'll come down and spend a summer vacation with you on the beach and so on. $10,000 place there, like you described, and with low living expenses being what they are, you can certainly feed us for a month. I don't know how in the world we'd get there, though. I hadn't thought of that. I'm obviously just rambling. It's Saturday night. I guess you'll date this sometime, and almost 9 o'clock. We moved back into the bedroom. Lee ironed, and Mel sat at the console of the tape recorder, and I'm quite relaxed on the bed, have been all the time long. Of course, they left me with the tape to say whatever I wanted to say. I guess helped me overcome my stage fright. Oh, the weather. You repeated several times about the weather was likely to be nice and so on. Guess Nels kept you posted on it, but it's been most provoking that we've had a very mild winter, and about as cold spell and as long spell has been from the beginning of this month right on down till now. It just persists in staying cold, and almost every forecast speaks of snow and the possibility of it. We haven't got it. It did snow here while I was up in Atlantic City, but I haven't seen one flake of snow fall here all winter. I saw a few while I was up there. And it came a little snow while I was up there, but I missed it completely. Of course, I guess they've had flurries in the north part and so on. And that's what they mean when they speak of it in the forecasts, that somebody might see a flake fall somewhere around the state. But it had just, the vegetation, it just hasn't shown any sign of coming to life except these yellow flowers, whatever they are, daffodils, or I don't think that's what they are, but you know what I'm talking about. few of those blooming around, but they're going by the calendar rather than they've just been dormant as long as they can, I think, rather than any change in temperature bringing them out. John, I think I've about shotted my wad on this. I certainly haven't been very informative, but it was real good to have a chance to talk to you, and certainly better to hear you talk for quite a long time here. It isn't the same to visit with Nell and the boys and so on, and you not be around. It kind of makes me feel cheated that we be around when next February or January or whenever you get back, and we'll try to make up for lost time. And you take very good care of yourself. You got a lot depending on you and waiting on you back here. Not scared, not worried. I don't see any evidence of that, but of course, you know, Nell is no, it's a burden for her to know that you're gone, and the danger that there is there, and the responsibility she has, and so on. And you know how she reacts to that. I mean, she's making it fine, but she'll be glad when the year is up, I know. But you take good care, and if you can, send me that tape. Say, the address here is 6320 Black Hawk. I'm sure you wouldn't remember it. The zip code is 72116. You send it to Nell if you want to, but I would appreciate getting something, hearing from you. Rather have that as a letter, but I can understand your drawl and muttering a little better than I can read you writing, I think. You know, I'm kidding you, of course. Take care of yourself, John, and we'll see you when you get back, and we'll be looking to hear from you.
This is a rare day in spring. I'm sure it's because it's St. Patrick's Day. I told you Leola called from Wilcox's here in town last Friday night and wanted us to come down Saturday. We got there about 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Uncle Lonnie and Aunt Audrey had called from Memphis Saturday. They had flown down from Michigan to see Leola's grandpa and grandma Martin, who live in Memphis, with an aunt of hers. Doyle and Leola were going to go over there Sunday, and she started to prevail on us to go with them. I didn't make any plans to go, so about 10 o'clock I started trying to get the boys around and get them ready to come back home. And Doyle said if I'd go to Memphis with Leola, he'd stay there with his boys and ours. That sounded real good, but I didn't know what Uncle Lonnie and Aunt Audrey would think if I showed up with Leola and her family didn't come. And I was kind of caught between conscience and temptation there, and I deliberated a while, and I didn't have any clothes to wear to Memphis, and Sport was here at home in the house. And after she wanted us to spend the night so we could get an early start, so we ended up Saturday 10:30, I guess. Doyle and Pat and Garth and I came back up here to home and put Sport out, let him out and back in the house, and got me some clothes, and went back down there, and we all spent the night down there. And Oh, it was almost 1 by the time we got to bed Saturday night. And Leola and I got up at 7 Sunday morning and got ready, left at 8 to go to Memphis. Took just 2 hours to get to Memphis, and it took another half hour to get to where the folks live. We went in and didn't a soul know who I was. Even Uncle Lonnie and Aunt Audrey didn't know me. They had 3 guesses, and they, I guess, got it on the 3rd one. They guessed Wilma, Nola, and of course, her aunt and uncle moved away, 20 years ago, I guess, and they wouldn't know me, but I sure thought Aunt Audrey would know who I was. Anyway, I tried to call Wilma soon after we got there, and she was at church, I guess, and tried all afternoon. Finally, just before we left, I said, I'm going to try one more time, and she was home then. They'd gone to church, then they'd gone out to eat, and it was such a nice day, they just stayed out and went for a drive or something. And so she came right over. I didn't see her, but just 15 or 20 minutes. But she stayed to visit with Uncle Lonnie and Aunt Audrey. And it was real nice to see them again. We tried to think when the last time we were together, and I guess it's been 15 years, I guess, since I'd seen them. And we started home about 4, I suppose. Gwen went with us and got home, then got back up to North Little Rock, and Doyle had got up and got breakfast and come back up to Conway then to let Sport out again, and he'd left Pat and Larry here. They had some homework to do, and he and Johnny and Danny had gone back down to North Little Rock then. They'd washed the car. He said he thought it needed it, and it hadn't been washed since I picked it up from port. And he said he'd had a good time, and I sure had a good time. I just hope that I didn't put anybody out by changing their plans around. I went down the freeway to their house. Leola teases me every time I see her about driving down Highway 5 in Dad's car in the fog at 6 o'clock that morning. I went down there to go pick up our car. That just floored her for some reason. She just couldn't believe that that I would prefer to drive down Highway 5 instead of the freeway, and in the fog yet. And she just can't get over that. And anyway, I went the freeway this time. Didn't have any trouble finding the way to their house. And then I was glad Doyle was with me then, coming back the first time I drove back this way. Down the freeway, but that's real easy to find too. And I drove up here and back in the dark and found out that I could, so last night when I came home with Johnny and Danny, I didn't mind driving up the freeway in the dark. Her aunt and uncle who live in Memphis have a son stationed at Holloman now, and he was in Vietnam. He's a pilot. Their name is Collard, Collard. Their daughter had been doing a genealogy, and she had traced 2 helicopter pilots to play coup. If you perchance see the name or run into the name anywhere, you might make a note of that. I promised Doyle I wouldn't listen to what he had recorded, so I don't know what he said. He did want one of those little darts that you sent. I got the letters Saturday just before I went down there with the little dart things, whatever they're called, with the little fins on the end. And you had told him about those, he said, and he wanted to know if he could have one, so I gave him one. I don't know what he intends to do with it, whether he's got somebody he doesn't like and is going to make a blowgun or what he's going to do with it, but I asked for one anyway. This Mrs. Harris that called Saturday that I told you about, it'll be later this week before I get to see her. I've got to go tomorrow to the base and grocery shop again. It will have been 2 weeks. And today I've got to work, catch up on what I didn't do over the weekend, and also do some more on putting away things, and so it'll be a while before I get to visit with her and find out who these other people are around town that she knows that have men over there. I don't know where any of the other fellas are. I'll stop here and try to get some help from the boys next time on filling the tape. Love you. Do take care. Bye.